Okay. Hello, my name is Avril Thompson, your Carhaul Division Director. Here with me today are Jeff Brisky, Assistant Carhaul Director from Local 449, and Ted Beardsley from Local 413, also a member of the National Negotiating Committee and a key representative of our driveway members. We are here today to explain to you the changes to the current agreement that expired August 31, 2025. Before we begin, I would like to speak on the state of the division. We all know that we were dealt a setback when Jack Cooper Transport ceased to exist in mid-February of this year. Our current NMATA carriers were unable to absorb all the traffic which Jack Cooper had previously hauled. Due to this fact, we lost many drivers and mechanics. We immediately met with the OEMs and were told that when we could provide Teamster options, the OEMs would entertain moving this lost traffic back to the Teamster trucks. Since those meetings, we have had 4 new companies sign on to the NMATA to haul cars: Squirrely LLC, Fleet Transport, American Truck Transport, and Pasha. We have also picked up 2 new yard companies, Pacific Rail Services and Rail Flex Solutions. These companies are coming online and providing work for our displaced Jack Cooper members. We expect all to grow, enabling the Teamsters to reclaim work that had been ours previously, while also expanding into new areas. We are currently in negotiation with Hanson Atkins at its first organized location in Fairfax, Kansas. I say all this to let you know that we are rebuilding from the Jack Cooper disaster. Cassins, RCS, AWC, and Precision have all increased their truck fleets and their yard density to help the industry recover, and we will recover. We assembled a negotiating committee of 26 agents and bargaining unit members from around the country. Bargaining unit members were from all crafts: truckaway, driveaway, yard, and mechanics. We presented the proposals that were submitted by you, and we fought back on proposals from the company that would have negatively impacted you. At the conclusion, we believe that we have negotiated a deal that addressed the main issues that you raised: health care, pension, job protection, time at home, and pay. And it will enable us to rebuild this industry so that it can provide good paying jobs for years to come. My committee and I unanimously recommend this package, and we ask that you vote yes. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jeff Brisky and let him go through the national section of the contract.
Thank you, Brother Thompson. As he said, my name is Jeff Brilski. I am the Assistant Carhaul Director. I'm also the Principal Officer of Local 449 in Buffalo, New York. I am going to review the changes for the NMATA, the National Agreement. The first change that we have is in Article 3, Section 1, under the training program. The new language added will be the union and the employer may agree to extend the training period for up to an additional 30 working days. This is only to be done by mutual agreement between the employer and the union. And a lot of times when we consider these options, we go to the trainers and our stewards for feedback before we make a decision. The next change is in Article 3, Section 2, when it talks about employees who are laid off while they're in their probationary period, and the change reads this: in the event an employee is laid off or absent for any reason and subsequently returns, such employee shall not be required to serve an additional full probationary period unless the period of absence lasts longer than the period previously worked by such employee. Rather, the employee will be required to complete the remaining time left from the previous probationary period. And again, I want to make it clear that in negotiations, the company did have proposals where they were seeking a much longer probationary period. The next change, modification to the NMATA, is going to be a change that will be consistent throughout the Eastern, the Central and Southern agreements, as well as the Western agreement where applicable. This change reads, seniority broken, all right? Seniority, including fringe benefits, shall only be broken by discharge, voluntary quit, and retirement. Retirement being the new provision and the new change to that article. And again, that language will be consistent with the national throughout the Eastern, the Central and Southern, and the Western agreements. Another change under Article 5 is Article 5, Section 11A, where we added Section 13 into this provision, and I will read the section of the contract. The employer shall not require employees who exercise under Article 5, Section 4, 5, 7, and 8 transfers, except for transfers pursuant to Section 7A, 3, and the new language here, and Section 13, all right? New terminal and additional help rights under any supplement to purchase any equipment as a condition of continued employment. By adding Section 13 to this provision, all right, if somebody elects to transfer into a terminal that is an owner-operator only terminal, which we have none right now. We have 0 owner-operator terminals throughout any of our systems. If you choose to go there as a condition of employment, you may be expected to purchase equipment in order to transfer there. The next pertinent change in the NMATA is to Article 10, Section 5, sick days. This is a new language that is mandatory under many state laws. Over the life of this agreement, I'm sure we will see more states follow suit to New York, Michigan, and Washington State that have mandatory sick leave laws. And this newly added language reads, benefits provided under this collective bargaining agreement are comparable to and satisfy the requirements of those provisions of New York Labor Law Section 196B of the New York Paid Sick Leave Law, Section 4 of the Michigan Earned Sick Leave Time Act of 2025, and the Washington State Paid Sick Leave Law. During an employee's first year of employment, sick time will be earned in accordance with all applicable state statutes. Again, those are sick leave laws pertinent to each state, and we expect to see more states come on board over the life of this agreement. The next will be under Article 21, where we're updating the dates to the current contract period. Again, this will be a 5-year agreement. The agreement will go into place effective September 1st, 2025, and will expire on August 31st of 2030. All right. The next change is under Article 22, new business. And we're proud to say that since the first time since its inception of new business, Article 22 will have a sunset date. The new language reads, new business acquired under this article before September 1st, 2025 will sunset upon expiration of this agreement. New business acquired during the term of this agreement will sunset 5 years after the acquisition of such business. Now, you may ask why we didn't shut the new business down day one under this agreement, and I'll tell you, we have to give the companies that are utilizing the new business right now an opportunity to prepare their bids for the end of the new business rate. Simply shutting down new business day one of this agreement would have been detrimental to the operations, and we believe that it would have cost us jobs. So we think this is a major win for the union, and I know it's something that people have been talking about for a long time. The next change is under the cost of living, all right? Again, another significant change for the first time ever. The COLA will be uncapped the last 2 years of the agreement. Beginning in September of 2028, there will be no cap on the COLA calculation. Now, I want you to consider that until 2022, the amount of COLA that you could receive under, not this agreement, but the previous agreement, was a nickel. Under this agreement, we raised it to 50 cents, a cap of 50 cents. Beginning in September of 2028, there will be no cap on COLA and no cap going forward. The next change is under Article 33 in the Work Preservation Agreement. We currently have language that would allow yard companies to go into places where there is no union, to go in and to bargain an initial contract with the company that allows employers to change the conditions, negotiate with the union, change the conditions that would be less than what is set standard in this current agreement, with the intent, always with the intent of getting the group and the contract into the NMATA and to get them to the top rate of the NMATA. The new provisions now allow truck away and drive away to come in and do the same thing. Go to places where there is no union work, to gain union work, to negotiate a contract that will bring them into the NMATA, and over a set period of time get to the absolute top rate of what the NMATA pays currently. And again, like I said before, under Article 35, the duration of the agreement is a 5-year agreement. It's effective September 1st, 2025, and will expire on August 31st of 2030. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Ted Beardsley to talk about the changes to the Active Work Preservation Agreement. Brother Beardsley?
Hello, I'm Ted Beardsley, Teamsters Local 413 business agent. I was on the negotiating committee with these two fine gentlemen to my left. They were touching upon Article 33, work preservation. The constraints that we have now implemented into the contract give us the full ability to dictate the amount and what loads we give to PPL. We also have a cap on the limited amount and where they go. So we will always be in control of it from the beginning process to the end process. If you would want to move forward to Article 81 or 82, it goes to the dispatching. It says, in addition, there should be 2 standing seniority dispatches established at all locations, one at 9 a.m. and one at 2 p.m. After the loads have been offered across the boards, any driver clearing from a load after 2 p.m. shall have the option to immediately clear and select and depart on any available load. This provision shall not interfere with the right of any local union to negotiate local agreements where riders govern the application and use of 2 standing dispatches. When dispatching at home terminal at 2 p.m., dispatch will be voluntary, unless there is specific language otherwise in the driveway supplement. If you will then go to Article 87, and it would be Section 4, it says the following rules will be implemented at all terminals. Employees living outside the terminal area of 200 miles will be flown home and back to an active terminal for a work assignment. Drivers within 199 miles will be directed to their home terminal. All drivers will be given work assignments after the following has been satisfied. To say it lighter, I know that there had been a lot of people asking, and it was one of the main proposals about 21 and 5. This solely is for everyone, not just drivers that live outside of the 200 mile radius. So, in other words, if you work 21 consecutive days, you will be entitled to 5 days off earned time at home. We negotiated the round robin and the pool agreement into the contract last. It did not change at all. And with that, I'll send it back to you.
Okay, once again, this is Avril Thompson. Ted ran through the highlights of the driveway section. I know that'll be Greek to a lot of our rack truck drivers and our local people, but our truckaway guys will understand it. Also in Article 33 had a change to Marysville releasing. Marysville was the yard company for Cassins that had been excluded from joining the family, you may say. We had that stricken from Article 33, so now Marysville releasing will also become a part of the national contract within a short period of time. Now I'll go through the Central Southern Area Supplemental Agreements. Article 38, Section 1 is a repeat of the national language saying that if you retire, that you lose your seniority, you'd be taken off the seniority list. We had a change to Article 40, major chargeable accidents, Article 40, Section 1A. We heard your requests on it. We had higher proposals there. We settled on changing the $5,000 to $7,500 before it becomes a major, a little bit at a time, and we'll get this thing worked out. That will enable us to protect more people and not put them through the discharge ringer if it's less than $7,500 damage. Article 41, Section 1, we had an issue with the company doctors sometimes giving our drivers a problem with DOT physicals. We have a change that says for DOT physical employees may choose their own state certified DOT doctor at the employer's expense. And believe me, it's worth it for our guys to be able to go to their own doctor, so that's a big change for us, and we believe it's going to help a lot of our drivers out. Article 48, Section 1A. We had a big issue with this. If you will remember, in the last contract, we added language into 1A. The language stated where work is slow at a driver's home terminal, he or she can be required to deadhead to another terminal on a single trip basis. So what we found was we put in the contract that the company could force you away one time if no loads were available. We discovered that the company was leaving loads in inventory saying they weren't available. They took advantage of this language, so we have stricken that language from the contract. Now it will read as it did before, that such drivers shall be dispatched with the load in the general direction of the home terminal, period. Such foreign drivers shall be given a trip nearest to or beyond their home terminal regardless of local dispatch rules in that terminal. So that protects you from being sent to another terminal on a one-trip basis and being forced away. They are required now, once again, to send you back home. Very important, the way the companies have been operating. It's a very important change. Article 51, Section 6, add the new language at the end of the paragraph. If an employee takes a vacation in a week that includes a holiday, the extra day off should be the work day before the vacation or the work day after the vacation. We had a lot of grievances over that. Now it is your choice. When you leave, if a holiday falls in your vacation period, you notify the company if you're going to take that extra day before or after. Another plus. Article 53, Health and Welfare. If you'll notice in there, we protected the rates once again. The rates are consistently going up in health and welfare. You'll note that they go up starting next year again. And we have protected where there's no employee copay on health insurance, totally free. Added in the following paragraph, the employer and Tenact Inc. reserve the right to negotiate health and welfare coverage with plans other than Central State, Southeast, Southwest area and welfare funds. So we did this, and as you see, it says have a right to negotiate with Tenact Inc., which is the full negotiating committee. So should the company be able to go somewhere into a place we haven't been before in the Deep South and pick up a new plant and need a way to get started, we have the ability as a negotiating committee to negotiate with them over the benefits that may be better for those employees in that area, those members. We're trying to grow the industry back up, and this is a tool that we're going to use, hopefully, if we can get the companies to expand. Article 54, pension.
I think if I could just expand
Yes, sir.
on that, I want to make it crystal clear. If you are covered under a health and welfare plan now, this language is not intended by any means for us to go in and change your current benefits. As Avril said, and this coincides with the work preservation agreement. It gives us the ability just to bargain a different health and welfare fund to bring new people into the NMATA. This is not a tool that anybody intends to bargain anybody out of the benefits that they currently enjoy.
Very good point, Jeff. Thank you for that. And you're absolutely right. That's why it says the Tenact Inc. So any kind of move like that would have to be brought to the full committee and not be done by any local. Article 54, pension. Maintain the pension benefits as is. Once again, no cost to the employee's member. Article 55, Section 2, modified paragraph. Pay shortages. This was one that was incredible to us, but we've always had language in the contract that said uncontested pay shortages are to be corrected within 72 hours or there's a penalty. We had cases where people were missing their entire paychecks. So we were able to add to this language, or missing paychecks are to be corrected by a supplemental paycheck within 72 hours or the penalty will apply. Key to this is when we have cases that we try to win in front of an arbitrator, we have to prove it in writing. So the language says when requested by the employee in writing. So if you have a shortage on your check or a missing paycheck, write it down, take it to the company, have them sign off on it, acknowledging an uncontested pay shortage or a missing check. That gets you started on your penalty pay if they don't fix it. Keep a copy of that. We have to have that to win these cases, always have, so it's very, very important. Do it in writing. Don't take somebody's word for it. Article 58, truck away, Part 2. This is important. This is the loading rate. This is the first place that we touch on what the actual increases are to the contract, and we are proud of these rates. The 9/1 of 2025, it's 2.5%. 9/1/2026, 2.5%. 9/1/27, 3%. 9/1/28, 4%. 9/1/28, 4%. And on 28 and 29, 28 and 29 is the last increase, 9/1 of 29. The COLA comes off, the cap on the COLA. So we negotiated that as protection for inflation. So the last 2 years of the contract is 4% each year plus no cap on the COLA. Very, very good raises. Article 58, Section 11, return transportation. Through our grievance process, we've also learned issues over this. We had language that allowed the money to be split amongst a group of guys that were riding back in vans. We have a change now that says where drivers ride together in return vehicle, such driver will be paid the hourly rate at any location the employer and local union in cases of equipment transfer may agree to other than public transportation. So if there's a local agreement there where you do something different than public transportation, it's still good. If a group of guys transfer trucks to a location, ride back in a car together to the home terminal, everybody in the car is getting paid hourly for the return transportation. Article 59, Section 3A, another key change. At the bottom it would say, when a driver is broken down and relieved from his truck, delays in a hotel do not have to be logged to receive compensation for said delay. Believe it or not, that was an issue that was happening to us. The company was making guys burn their hours up while they were in a hotel if they wanted to be paid. They said, if you expect us to pay it, log it, otherwise we're not paying. That's corrected now. If you're away from your truck in a hotel, broke down, you do receive pay without logging and burning your hours up. 59, Section 7 and 9, as I said, the increase, the percentage increase covers all supplements, covers all rates. It covers split deliveries, head hauls, back hauls. It's across the board. Article 59, Section 9, we have a huge change here. And the language says, providing that these rates will not pay less than 50% of total miles traveled at the regular rate. New language is on single or two-legged trips. So everybody that's been around Carhaul for a long time understand that when you leave your home terminal and you return, you're guaranteed 50% of those total miles traveled at the regular rate. What we have ran into is that we've got a company that is deadheading people around a lot, moving them to different terminals. A lot of times our deadhead miles are right at 50% or exceed it. We're spending a lot of time running empty, and we find a way to fix that. So the fix to it is, the new language says, on multi-legged trips, 60% of all miles traveled will be paid at the regular rate. So if you go out and back with a back haul, it doesn't apply. If you go out and return empty to your home terminal, it doesn't apply. It's a two-legged trip. But when you go out and you pick away and you get in the system and you're moving terminal to terminal, you figure the 4 miles from the time you left to the time you get back, and now you're guaranteed 60% of those miles at the regular rate, not 50% anymore. So what we're hoping is that we don't have to pay anybody those miles. What we're hoping is that this will affect FMC on how they're dispatching people, and that the company will keep their trucks loaded and make you more money, or they're going to pay a penalty for it. Very, very huge change here that is going to help us out a lot. Okay, Article 62, I want to touch on it just a bit. It is about the owner-operator section, and we have new language agreeing that should any of our companies deem it necessary to establish an owner-operator terminal, we will immediately get back together and update the changes and what needs to be in the Article 62. Now move to Part 3, the local section, Article 65, Section 3B. There's a change to that, and what we did was picked up the language from the 5/8 shift, moved it into the 4/10, so that now compensable days will be considered days worked for the purpose and provision of overtime. Same protection for the 4/10 guys that the 5/8 guys had. The rates that we had spoke about before, as I said, apply to all supplements, including the local part and the garage part. Article 72, Section 7, for the garage, there's a change. We were having problems with the 15% off. Now we have language that says a minimum of one shop person can be off, provided there are at least 3 mechanics on the shift. That will help to get our mechanics time off on the weekends. And Article 73, Section 11, we had a change to the tool allowance from $1,000 per year to $1,250 per year. And with that, Jeff, I think I'll turn it back to you to cover the little bit of differences in the east.
Okay, and thank you for that, Brother Thompson. I just want to make it clear. I mean, in the east, as well as the west, the common clause language, such as wage increases and maintenance of benefits, and all of the other changes that would apply to all of the area supplements, are the same as the changes that would be reflected in the east. The most pertinent change in the east is in regards to Article 51, where all drivers now are eligible for the same amount of holidays. Previously, there was people with a certain seniority date had more holidays than the people that had a date after 2015. Now everybody has the same amount of holidays in the east. Brother Thompson?
So I want to address the change in the Western Area Supplemental Agreement covering truckway, driveway, automotive shop, office, and Western Area yard operations. We had a change which was already consistent in the other supplemental agreements that we added to the west. It says drivers performing work on the holidays stated above shall be paid for actual time spent working in addition to holiday pay, except in location where local agreements currently provide more wages for working on holidays than those agreements will apply. So this is standard language in other supplements we carried over that will make a big difference to our members out there. And with that, I think we have covered all the changes. I would like to close by saying that we worked very hard on this deal in a very trying time in our industry. We, as you can see, the changes we have in here are designed to grow the industry back. We're working hard to get that done. We need a positive vote on this. We're asking you to vote yes, give us a 5-year term to reestablish, and things will be a lot better next time, but we're proud of what we got, and we ask that you vote yes. Jeff, would you like to close?
Yeah, I just would like to say that this was unanimously approved and recommended for ratification. We had drivers, we had yard personnel, we had people from the shop. They all drive away. Larry out of Denton, Texas, worked in the driveway classification. Everybody unanimously approved this for ratification. So it asks all of our members to take a good look at this. If you have any questions, reach out to your business agent. But it's recommended, and we're asking you all to vote and support it as well. Thank you.
Ted?
Yeah, one thing I'd like to add is, whenever we had meetings, the one thing that was always asked of us as a whole was to not negotiate a concessionary contract. And in the times that we're in right now with this craft, it was very trying. And it's not a non-concessionary contract in no means. It's a gainer from beginning to end. So with every request that everyone had, within the confines of what we did, we actually delivered for all the needs and wants that you guys, men and women alike, asked for. So I would fully recommend this myself.
Thank you.
Thank you.